Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKadosh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, to the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai. And the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalil, and this video is on Bible prophecy, specifically the prophecy of America's allies turning against her and destroying her. And that prophecy says in Revelation chapter 17 and verse 16, and the 10 horns, which is the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast, which is NATO, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So this is saying that America's allies, EU and NATO, are going to turn against her, and they are going to aid in her destruction. And here America is the whore. Okay, America is Mystery Babylon the Great, and the judgment for Mystery Babylon the Great is that it is going to be destroyed by way of thermonuclear fire, and that's America. So things are going to be escalating to a point where America's allies are going to break off away from her, EU and NATO, and we're in the midst of that right now. Literally, current events is showing us the drifting apart of America and her allies from RT News. America and the EU are drifting apart. Moscow is watching. And then America's enemies are watching what's going on, right? They're taking note of it. The spirit is out there, man. Everyone's watching America and its allies and how that relationship is deteriorating. Okay, so this article just speaks a little bit about it, like, is the US-Europe rift temporary or permanent? Well, the thing about it is that it will become permanent because of Bible prophecy. Now, in current day, with current events right now, they are drifting apart. Is there a chance that they may become amicable again? Maybe, but it would just be for a little bit, because first and foremost, Bible prophecy is at the forefront. So the relationship has to be broken apart so that it leads to US and NATO, America's allies, shooting the missiles at her. It has to break apart. So no matter what happens, that's going to be the end game, right? So we're seeing this, but I just really wanted to use the title for this article. There's other information that's out there. So here we have it: wary markets rebound as Europe and Canada retaliate against Trump tariffs. So it's been escalating over the past 2 weeks, and it's something that has been really escalating bit by bit for the past few years. America, Germany, France, the UK, they've all been having, at different points, certain moments of, how could I even say this? Not really doing what's best for one another. Okay, so they've all been not really in unison as they once perhaps were. But now it's getting to a point where it's really escalating because Trump, he put tariffs on his allies. And why would you do that? Why would you weaken the position of your allies? That's going to obviously make them upset, and they are upset about it. And so it's gotten to the point where, after President Trump's global tariffs on steel and aluminum took effect, the European Union and Canada announced billions of dollars in levies on American goods. So you have the European Union, and then you have Canada, and Canada is a part of NATO. So NATO is affected by this, by Canada being a part of NATO. The stock market recovered some recent losses as investors weighed positive news on inflation against continued uncertainty. Okay, so this whole situation happened, and then there was a situation with when Trump had talks with the president of Russia, Putin. he had talked with them about some kind of ceasefire deal with Ukraine, but Trump intentionally left out America's allies regarding those talks, NATO and the EU, and the allies were upset about it. And then things escalated with the whole talks about whatever. But the situation is that the European countries, they back Ukraine, but America doesn't want to back Ukraine. So that is a part of one of the situations that's going on regarding the breaking apart of their relationship. Okay, so then just in the news from the Google, Macron from Politico.eu 2 hours ago. Macron to EU colleagues, stop buying American, buy European. Okay? I wonder, let me see what this has to say a little bit. Those who buy Patriot should be offered the new generation Franco Italian. Those who buy the F-35 should be offered the Rafale. Okay. French President Emmanuel Macron wants to lead a charm offensive to convince EU countries to stop buying US defense equipment and buy French and European instead. Macron, who has been calling for years to direct defense spending toward EU products, said he wants to convince other European countries that are currently buying American to shift to local options. My intention is to go and convince European states that have become accustomed to buying American. Okay, so this is the EU becoming self-sufficient. France wants to become more self-sufficient where they're buying European or they're buying from France, right, which is a part of NATO, all right? 4 days ago from Social Europe, America is gone and Europe must replace it. Foreign policy, Europe's economic decoupling from America is underway 4 days ago. If it comes to a standoff, Europe has leverage over America 3 days ago. All right. Let's see if there's anything on page 2. Well, there it is once again. EU chief says member countries must use a new defense loan to buy European, not American, 3 days ago. All right. So, you know what that means, though? That means that America's allies are truly doing things to try and become self-sufficient instead of relying on America as they always have. Because the scriptures say in the book of Obadiah, it says in verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy, thy alliance, that's what it means, covenant, alliance, pledge, a treaty, have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread, and the EU and NATO have eaten of the bread placed by America. They've eaten at the same table. They have become strengthened, the scriptures say, and have received, they're of one mind and have received power with the beast. Right? I believe that's what it says in Revelation chapter 17. Right? So the whore, which is America, that rides the beast, which is NATO, and the 10 horns, the European Union, they're all first world countries. We know them as first world countries, and these are all Edomite dominated countries. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, there's none understanding in him. So they've laid a wound under him, which means that things are happening or will happen where America is damaged by movements, decisions that the EU and NATO make. For example, an article came out a few days ago, I believe, that the EU and NATO said that they will no longer share intelligence reports with the US, leaving them out. So can you imagine any kind of intelligence reports coming from NATO and the EU, America has no information to? She's being segregated. Is that the right word? Separated. right? Separated away. Okay? So this is all coming, and this is a sign of Esau Edom's kingdom falling apart, right? The deterioration of the relationship between America and her allies. It's one of the final endgame prophecies in Revelation chapter 17, verse 16, right? Because that is an endgame prophecy, because by that time, when the missiles are shot at America, the mark of the beast prophecy, which is a microchip, would have already been fulfilled. That's why the missiles are being shot, right? And then America is going to be destroyed. But before America is destroyed, Yahushua returns and delivers the elect of the nation of Israel. So it's very much an endgame prophecy, man. Okay? But Esau's kingdom, there's no unison in it. And when you look at how, like, if there's no unison in a kingdom, it cannot stand. With our kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, in the book of First Kings, there was a situation between Rehoboam and Jeroboam, and representing southern kingdom and northern kingdom. And it said that they had war all the days of their life, and the kingdom was separated. And because of the kingdom separation, we just couldn't remain strong. And that is what is happening to the Edomites right now. In Mark chapter 3 and verse 24, it says, "And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but at an end." And Satan here is referring to the so-called white man, who are the biblical Edomites whose forefathers Esau. And this is their kingdom, right? So when I said that these countries are Edomite-dominated countries, they are led by, the so-called white people, all right? And so here it's referring to them, right? And their kingdom is against itself, it's divided, so it cannot stand, and it's coming to an end. And Esau's rulership was always meant to be temporary anyway. That's how the Lord set it up, and the scriptures say, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." This is a wicked kingdom. There is no way that the Lord, being righteous only, would allow for a wicked kingdom to be perpetually happening. That's not how the story, at least, is written. You see, the Lord could have set things however the Lord wanted to set things, but this is the way the Lord has set things, that a wicked kingdom cannot stand and will be destroyed and be done away with. And then a righteous kingdom is going to come about and have perpetual, eternal rulership, which is our kingdom led by Yahushua, right? We, the Israelites. Okay, so Esau's kingdom is coming to an end, and the relationship is breaking apart further and further between America and her allies. So, with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, Bashem Kodesh, Shalom.